Today I have no funny intro. Today is pure utility. Today is like your electricity bill from CTO Larsson. CTO telling you to stay consistent, to not panic, but also to not get ahead of yourself. Just open the envelope, gasp at the number and press the button. No emotion. I had to move the table because the olives are getting heavier, pulling the branches down, opening a hole in the tree. BTC price hit the support at 60,800 that I talked about in the video last week, and support held. I wrote very clearly at the time last Friday in our Discord that we cannot call this a support break yet. That was right here exactly when it happened. I also wrote it in our Friday tier report. We can't say that support has broken down yet, as we need to leave a little bit of margin. And I laid it all out to you exactly 1 week ago in the previous YouTube video on October 8th, well ahead of time. But sometimes when hearing something in one state of mind, when price has pumped and we're feeling happy, you hear it differently from when price is dumping and you feel frightened. So now, the first thing we will do in this utility video is that we will go back and listen again to a few things I said exactly 1 week ago, and then look at what played out, because there are learnings from this. Let's play the tape. Also, I'm a big fan of buying at support during ranging price action, and that wasn't here. And I think it was this day or maybe that day. I saw some people complaining that what they don't like about my process is that if you're late to the party, say you didn't watch CTO Larsson back here, you're only coming in now, you find yourself late, I suggest to aim to wait with at least some of the money for a retracement. And if it happens, you buy at support instead. If it doesn't happen, you just let that opportunity go. And at this day, it felt like you missed it, right? So there was some bickering about that frequently that retracement never happens, which is true. Well, then you just take another opportunity instead. But sometimes it happens, and then you get a much better risk reward. Because if you buy at support, you have a shorter distance to invalidation. The setup is better. And this time price did back up exactly to support, which I pointed out exactly when it happened. This is an entry with radically better risk reward instead of buying here. Because now your distance to invalidation, the downside risk you're taking, is perhaps only a third of the risk you're taking from here. Now, these are very small anyway, given that this is Bitcoin, but I'm trying to explain the principle with the hope that you can find use of this in many situations. So the use of this in many situations turned out to happen just 3 days later. If this support breaks 60,800, then that is pretty bad. And that could happen because, for example, the yield curve looks pretty bad now. Looks like it reclaimed this level. And the DXY support held, which makes the dollar seem a lot stronger now, which puts pressure on assets denominated in the USD. And we can see that, for example, traditional gold has stalled a little bit here, and so has stocks, despite this solid breakout. So that pressure actually materialized. But right now, this breakdown hasn't happened yet. And if it continues to hold, I'm game. And we could still be just one step away from trending price behavior to be back on the menu in the up direction, because Larsson line is gold. So once again, guys, support and resistance. Support held again. If you suffered the FOMO panic up here on the wick, once again, it was better to wait to get in on yet another chance to enter at support with a short distance to invalidation, meaning vastly greater risk reward, as I explained in that video. And once again it worked. And here also you see explained why I'm not acting on the wicks, because that wick here could have faked you, while the candle close were almost exactly at support. And once again it worked. This isn't going to work every time. And it doesn't even need to work most of the times, because the reward factor in percent is so much bigger than the risk factor in percent if you enter at support. But that is only true if you execute also on the other case. If you open the electricity bill in the morning and the number is bad, break below support, then you also have to act on that and cut the position. Act on the stop loss. Then I talked about what are the exact criteria for the next trend to start. First we have to clear this level. See, that's where we rejected yesterday. And to have a little bit of margin, I want to see that we clear the point where we reversed last time. So did we clear it? I drew this level. No, we didn't. In fact, we turned almost exactly on that dollar yesterday. Why is that? Larsson is just so lucky. No, it's because support and resistance works. People remember price levels, and other experienced analysts made the same analysis as I did. That's why it turned exactly there yesterday. Another interesting point to observe is that we're kind of getting this diagonal here, which price again is very close to breaking out from. But the big break for me is 71,400, and hopefully you are now approaching it with some careful entries from the ride here. Perhaps from this support level, perhaps from this breakout, perhaps from this inverse head and shoulder and gold flip, and perhaps you were here already and loaded up at 17,433. No one will have played this perfectly, and that is not the objective. The objective is to catch most of the trend with most of the capital. The basis for my analysis is the chart. All factors boil down into the behavior of the buyers and the sellers, which also coincides very well with the volume profile, meaning where has volume changed hands. And you see, up to this level, it's been a lot of volume changed hands. Above that level, there is almost nothing. But we can get some clues, some being macroeconomics. Another one is Donald Trump, because this has changed a lot. On Polymarket, the odds are now 55.9 versus 43.7, and this has changed a lot during the previous week. I'm not American. I don't claim to understand the United States of America like an American. If it was up to me, which it is not, these two people probably wouldn't have been my shortlist. Out of the 335 million people, many of which are absolutely amazing. But the outcome of this will affect the market by a lot. And I think there is an opportunity leading up to the election. The classic buy the rumor, sell the news behavior could play out. So I want to make absolutely clear that I'm not judging the quality of the debate. Blows my mind. Here is from Kamala HQ. Trump appears lost, confused and frozen on stage as multiple songs play for 30 minutes and the crowd pours out of the venue early. Then someone else says this is not what happened whatsoever. Two people fainted in the crowd due to the heat and Trump had to wait for them to get medical assistance. He then decided to have fun with the crowd instead and listen to music and jam out. These are the arguments now, and it's pretty bad on both sides. My conclusion from this and 100 other examples is that no rational argument will have any effect on either side. It's like the Winston Churchill quote, democracy is the worst form of government, except all those other forms. That really sums it up. So the point here is not the quality or merits of the candidates. The point is that if Trump is gaining in the predictions leading up to the elections, I think there's a good possibility that a few assets will pump, which includes Bitcoin, because of the explicit support he has spoken. I mean, the leading presidential candidate is literally launching a token sale. Join the whitelist today. I don't dare to launch a token sale and promote it on social media with slogans like this is your chance to help shape the future of finance. I feel then Gary Gensler is going to show up here behind the lemon tree with an indictment because I haven't filled out some form, and then he will also run and hide the form somewhere in the garden, so I can't find it. But the leading presidential candidate is launching something called World Liberty Financial. And for clarity, this is not a recommendation to buy, guys. I know nothing about it. And I haven't joined the whitelist or the exclusive spaces. But this is undeniably positive for the whole digital asset market as a whole. If the lead promoter of a coin pretty far down the quality list is trending ahead in the polls. Other assets that could pump if Trump pulls ahead are the Elon Musk stocks, because he has made very outspoken support for Trump. As you recall, Tesla established this support at 167, faked one time, which ended in a bullish engulfing candle, recovered the support again, which held other times, and is now on the verge of breaking out from this diagonal. Hasn't yet, and now almost retested this minor support at 208, and Larsson line close to flipping gold. If it breaks out here, high chances that it does. If this support instead breaks, I'd cut it. Personally, I don't think the regular car sales is such a clear winner, or at least it's not the reason why I'm paying attention. Tesla invented the category of cool, electric, actually good cars. But a lot of the other manufacturers have caught up on that as such, in my opinion. There are great electric cars today from BMW, Audi, Volvo, Chinese manufacturers, and so on. I think that opportunity has been diluted now. And this seems unfair, but trust me, I understand this. I've been in that situation. We invent something truly revolutionary, but sometime later other people do catch up. And then it feels unfair if we created this 2G or 3G or 4G or 5G technology and someone else just comes basically and copies it. But that's permitted in the economy. The idea isn't patentable as such. You have to keep inventing. As they copy behind, you have to keep moving forward. That's how you win. That's the same mentality I have today in the technical analysis space. So for Tesla, I think the opportunity of electric cars has been diluted now. I think the opportunity here rather lies in superior AI and the courage to try new business model, try to do it again what they did last time, using the capacity for innovation. And I do think that most people underestimate the value of not driving your car if we can actually get a fleet of self-driving cars. Most of my corporate life, I've had a driver. I sit in the back seat with my laptop. It's honestly a pretty low qualified job to operate a car. Is that really the best way that I can spend my time? If juggling an executive job, my technical expertise, my family. Where I live now, the self-driving isn't good enough. So we once again hired a driver. So coming back to Tesla, either a car plus the time you spend, or the car plus an actual driver, a human driver, is pretty expensive. Will they deliver on this? No idea. That's why it's called risk-reward. Is it likely? Maybe. Is it possible? Yes. The guy who can take this freaking 250-ton thing dropping at half the speed of sound and actually land it.
No freaking way. No freaking way.
It's at least possible that he can figure out the self-driving taxi and some robots. It will probably take longer than expected. There will be engineering problems, there will be regulation, there will be politicians trying to stop it, lobbyists trying to slow it down and so on. But the fun fact is that I recorded one of my course episodes talking about support and resistance exactly here. There's been a stock split since then, so that's perhaps not entirely obvious, but it was here if you've seen that episode. Speaking of the course, thanks to those brave souls who tried my new onboarding tool, it worked well for most people, but it was not perfect. Some people did run into some issues. Now I've revised it, I'm still trying to optimize it, so that's why this isn't just some discount. This is very important to me, because I have big plans for the rest of the year, and then I need this admin panel, so I need a little bit more time until I will consider the shop open as usual, suitable for everyone. The tools as such are stable, it's just the checkout and onboarding and admin panel system that's new. A few people have noticed I've also hidden a checkout for Larsson Line Pro down here, where it says Friendly Pro. If you can find the link, this is live, and you can try the new onboarding panel also for Larsson Line Pro, even if the 50% price has expired for your case, here's another chance, because I want to test this too. I saw some people talking about a possible inverse head and shoulders building in Ethereum, where if we take out the wicks, it's very close to that breakout. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, but I have two problems with this. One is that the neckline is sloping downwards, which is not what we want if we're looking for strength, but the bigger problem is that I think we're mainly just monitoring that BTC has gone up in price versus the US dollar. If we switch to the ETH to BTC chart, and you know that I'm almost always in favor of looking at the altcoin to BTC chart instead, to filter out some of the speculative element of BTC versus USD and instead isolate how the altcoin is doing as such. And here right now we're nowhere near confirming a bottom pattern, at least not yet. If this level is crossed, the situation is different. Then it would be a bottom pattern, a double bottom. And this level was pretty important. If that is reclaimed, okay, that means something. And if both the ETH to BTC chart and the ETH to USD chart confirm solid bottom patterns, okay, then I'm interested. Because, of course, just when all hope seems lost with this asset, of course that's possible that exactly could become the bottom. I'm not gonna try to predict it. If it happens, I will review it then. For now, I think the entire crypto market depends on this chart. And specifically, if 60,800 support continues to hold, and if we get a 71,400 breakout with a trend up, which for me means Larsson line gold. Clues I will be monitoring are the usual suspects, like the 2-year yield, the DXY, the positive correlation to stocks, the physical gold because it tends to be correlated to digital gold on short to medium time horizon, and this chart. Not because I'm a big fan of one or the other candidate, but simply because I think it will affect the markets. Thank you, tack. CTO Larsson out.